This is my grandpa, Carl Jesperson. He immigrated to America in 1949. What was your life like before you came to America?
I was born on a farm in Denmark, and life there was very, very simple. We didn't have all the things you guys have today. I grew up there and I went to school, and after I finished grammar school, I got a job as a carpenter apprentice. And that took 3 years to learn the carpenter trade. At the same time, I started going to school, engineering school. And when the war ended, or just before the war ended, I had finished my carpenter apprenticeship, and I had a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. And that's about what happened to me in Denmark. Well, and then after I graduated, I got a job, and I worked in Denmark for a couple of years. I served 1 year in the Danish Army. And then I decided to come to the United States, because Denmark was sort of getting too small. They graduated engineers by thousands or hundreds. And I felt the opportunity was not too big. So I looked other places and decided to come to the United States.
Why did you choose to leave Denmark?
Well, because it's a small country, and like I said before, there was too many engineers there. I thought there was. So I wanted to go to I wanted to really see the world. And go out and try my luck in another country. So I came to the United States.
What was your trip like?
My trip was that's something to remember. I left Denmark from Copenhagen. I sailed up to Oslo, Norway. And there I got on a big steamliner that was heading for New York. The first 3 days were wonderful. We sailed up along the Norwegian coast. We stopped in Stavanger Fjord, and we stopped in Bergen, and food on the ship was fantastic. They had things I hadn't seen in 5 years. During World War II, we didn't have much in Denmark. And then after leaving Bergen, we headed across the North Sea and then into the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean in April is really something. It's very rough, big waves. The boat was going up and down like a roller coaster. At the same time, it's rolling sideways, so we didn't feel too good. This took about 2 years. Not 2 years, it took about 2 weeks to cross the Atlantic, and then we landed in New York.
What was it like when you first arrived?
Well, when I first arrived, my impression wasn't too good. Leaving Europe, all the harbors are nice and clean, and the bands are playing when the ship leaves. In New York, there was none of that. A lot of big ships in there. The harbor in New York was not as clean as those in Europe. There's a lot of dock work, and of course a lot of big ships. Anyway, we disembarked the boat and went through customs. And I was met by a guy from Traveler's Aid, and he helped me get on a bus. And I took a bus all the way out to California. Okay, we landed in New York on the morning. It was in fact April the 1948, when we pulled into New York Harbor. And what I saw there wasn't all that good, at least I didn't think so. It's a lot of dock workers, a lot of ships, and a lot of activity, and it wasn't as nice and clean as it was in Europe, but then again, it's a much bigger place. After disembarking the ship, we went through customs, which took a little while, because there was a lot of people on the ship. And then I was met by a fellow from Traveler's Aid, and he helped me get on a bus that was heading for Los Angeles. This was a Greyhound bus. This thing go 24 hours a day, just stopping for food once in a while, and we slept on the bus. And 3 days after leaving New York, we landed in Los Angeles. Los Angeles was a very beautiful place in 1948.
Is America better or worse than your old country?
Oh, America is much better than the old country. America is probably the greatest country on earth. I know that many Americans don't really appreciate what they have. They complain about things, but they should go live some other place and find out what it's really like to live in another country. Because this United States is by far the greatest country on earth.
Thank you.
We finished? Oh.
What did you do after you were
Well, after I came to Los Angeles, I got a job as a carpenter because I had a little problem with my engineering. I graduated in the metric system and all I had everything was inches and feet and pounds and tons in Denmark. Everything was centimeters and meters and kilograms, so it was a little bit different. And it was not that easy to get a job in Los Angeles as an engineer at that time. So I took a job as a carpenter and I worked with that for about a year and a half, and then I started my own construction company, which I carried on for about 42 years, and I must say that I thought it was rather nice. I met a lot of nice people, had good customers, and I would never lack for work. I had plenty of it.
Why did you choose to leave Denmark?
I left Denmark because, number one, I had some adventure in my blood, and I really wanted to go out and see the world. And I had an uncle in America that had been home in Denmark, and he had told me about America. So I decided to come to America. I got a visa. It took me a whole year to get a visa. And when I came here, it was really wonderful. This land is so full of opportunities that we didn't have in Denmark. In Denmark, you start down the bottom and you got to climb the ladder up. As people die, you have to get a job. But that's not the way it is in the United States. You can just jump right ahead if you know how to do it. And it has lots of opportunities. All you got to do is go out and find them. Or take them when they come along. They're there. Lots of them. And I was lucky. I had my opportunities and I took advantage of every one of them. And I'm very happy in the United States. I think this is a great country. You'll never find another one like it.